good.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the T-Shay Show. I am your host, Tika. And today we have a special guest that's coming on the show a little bit later during the show. Hey, Dave.
How's it going?
Yep, it's going pretty good. It's really messy out.
I mean, it's better than it was yesterday. It's and it's certainly better than it is in Texas.
Yes. That's why I couldn't wait to get to the studio to talk to you about that. Because I'm like, I know if I ask Dave, he's going to tell me everything about what's going on in Texas. And listen, we have, we had a lady that was supposed to come on the show Saturday, but Martha Reese, she's a motivational speaker. She lives in Texas, and she was flying in to come on the show, and she can't because she snowed in, and it's so bad. She had to cancel. I told her we'll reschedule. So I'm hoping everything gets better for you out there, Martha.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. I mean there are still. I think the last thing I saw was 500,000 people without power. Still in Texas, it was 1 million as of yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that your video is actually up and running. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, I don't even know why are you being problematic?
Me?
No, not you. No, the video is being weird. Keep talking. I'm gonna figure this out and make sure we're good.
Okay. But yeah, so they're without power. Then the banks are down. Everything is down.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the weird thing is, and this is one of those like, be careful what you wish for because it can backfire on you. So Texas is quite literally the only state in the nation that is not connected to the centralized national power grid because Texas wanted to be all independent and be Texas.
Okay.
So cute, but then when you're not on the national grid, then you're not technically under federal oversight. They have warned people bajillions of times that they didn't have things winterized, they didn't have the right equipment, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. And so go figure, everything that they warned them was going to happen happened. And so, they bought the wrong wind turbines, to generate energy from wind.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, and it's so funny to watch people try to blame people. They're like, oh, well, the wind turbines suck. No, you bought the wrong ones. That's like, if you buy the wrong, piece of equipment for your car, you can't be mad at the person you bought it from. You bought it, and so, because there are wind turbines in Antarctica that work just fine.
Yeah.
And it's a lot colder there than it is in Texas. You had the lines that bring the natural gas to the power stations froze. The water pipes that were bringing the water to cool the nuclear reactors froze. So they've had to shut everything down. I think the last stat I saw that they were running at like 5% of energy production capacity. So yeah, like I said, you had like 1 million people that were out of power, and people died. Because they were days in sub-freezing temperatures. That happens.
Now, my question is this. First off, was this the first time that this happened? Like they had this terrible type of weather, or blizzard there? Was this the first time that this has happened to them in history?
It's the first time in a long time
Okay.
that you've had a storm like this in Texas. Texas doesn't normally. Texas gets freezing temperatures, but coupled with a storm like this and everything else, it's kind of a 1-2 punch that they weren't really ready for.
Okay.
And yeah. But it's it might be the first time, but it probably won't be the last. And it's the problem is you've got, like I said, so instead of being under like federal oversight and that kind of stuff, you had private businesses that were running the components of the power grid, and I think if nothing else, capitalism has now taught us that no, if there's money to be made, people don't care about repair, upgrades, and maintenance. They care about making money, and they put shit off as long as they possibly can. And that's exactly what's happened here.
Oh, Okay.
All right, so that's that.
So, yeah, Dave, that's really messed up.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of, as messed up as things can be here in Michigan, at least we're not Texas.
That's what I said too, And then you have a lot of people that want to move away, move here, move there. And you have all these natural disasters that occur in all these different places. And it makes it seem like Michigan isn't that bad.
I've always said, why live where the earth doesn't want you? Because, you've got, Florida, the hurricanes, they get destroyed.
Yes.
California, if it's not fires, it's quakes. If it's not quakes, it's mudslides. If it's not mudslides, it's it's mud. Yeah. But I mean, like Michigan, we don't get, we get snow. But I mean, like, dude, this snow, when's the last time you remember us getting this much snow in one snowfall? I mean, it's been years.
It's been years.
It isn't, we haven't had snow like this in quite some time. And I do. I mean, I remember heavy snowfalls, from years ago or, even when I was a kid and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's been relatively mellow, and so, our summers aren't too terrible. It's not like, I mean, dude, go to Minnesota where it's routinely like minus 30. Good luck with that. Where people, my whole thing is I've always said I don't want to live anywhere where I have to plug my car in. Are you familiar with that concept?
No.
In the places where it gets super cold, even if your car's in the garage, like in South Dakota and Minnesota, and even in Wisconsin and a lot of places, they have basically a warmer that integrates into your car, and you essentially plug your car in overnight to keep that heater warming, to keep your engine from freezing solid.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, like I said, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I'll pass on that too,
no,
Dave.
good. So, but yeah, but then again, you know what? I don't I'm better with cold than I am hot. Like I'm if it gets above like 75, I start getting cranky. But like I can put on another sweater, or I can put on a fleece. I'm good. It is what it is. Hot.
You could take off a shirt.
Hot, you can only get so naked.
You're right. You only can get so naked.
And it's just like heat. I feel like cold at least wakes you up. Heat just sucks the life right out of you. Like it just like I feel like heat, or at least it does with me. Like heat makes me tired, whereas cold at least snaps me awake.
What about the cold mess with your bones?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying go out and sit in a snowbank for 3 hours, but I mean, even just walking around downtown or something like that. Yeah, it's a little brisk, and if the wind's blowing, it sucks. But I'll still take that over walking around in 90-degree heat and 90% humidity. No thanks. No.
Yeah.
Like I will never forget. I was in Miami on business once, and it was in February. And like I woke up and I rolled over and turned on. I was in the hotel and I turned on the news, and it was like 7:00 in the morning, and it was already 86 degrees with like 98% humidity or something stupid like that. And I was just like, why do people live here? Like this is like, what's wrong with you? Like that's the weather that truly just sucks the life out of you. Like I went to I lived in DC before I moved out here, and people forget that like DC was built on a swamp, and so like every day between about May and October, it's like a neck and neck race between heat and humidity as far as who's going to hit 100 first. And so I went down with some friends a few years ago in July because they wanted to see the whole 4th of July thing and all that stuff in the nation's capital. And so we went. And I was like, look, like, be ready. Like, summer there is not like summer here. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's oppressive. Like the humidity, like literally is a physical force. And they thought I was kidding. And we got there, I think we pulled into the hotel at like 11:30 at night or something. So it wasn't that bad. But like, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock the next morning, like of course we were at the bar having Bloody Marys in the hotel. And then like, as soon as we're walking outside, as soon as the double doors opened to the outside, and that wave of heat and humidity, it literally knocked one of my friends, like he literally took a step back.
Oh.
He was like that. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, that's heat. That's humidity. That's what I was warning you about that you didn't listen to me.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Especially like, I like the heat though if I have water. You know what I'm saying? Like if I could swim or go to a beach or something like that, I'm cool. And if I have air. I don't like to be cold. Like, I really don't.
Yeah, see, like, and here's the
I
weird
hate to
thing.
be cold.
Like, I have a pool, but I'm not like really a pool guy. It's more like for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But like even that, like, okay, yeah, you're fine while you're in it, and then as soon as you get out, the heat just starts sucking the life out of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think, yeah, but I'm definitely an air conditioning guy. I'm the, if it's 75 out, my air's usually set at like 72, just to take the edge off.
Okay. 72 is not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't keep it like at 60, but
Yep. So.
guess trying to figure out where they are.
Yes, that's what that's what I'm doing. But anywho, what casinos you like to go to, Dave?
I'm not much of a casino guy, just because I have an insanely addictive personality.
Okay.
And it wasn't helped. So laughably, my 27th birthday, I was in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And the person I was with developed a migraine. And so I just went out by myself at like 11 in the morning and just went roaming around. And I wound up in the casino. And it's 11 in the morning, so there's not many people there. And I wound up at the roulette table. And I was like, all right, I've seen this in all the movies and that kind of crap. Explain it to me. And so he explains like the numbers and the corners and the canyons and the valleys and the this and the that and everything.
He said the this
And
that.
and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to tell you what. I'm like, I'm 20. It's the 27th. It's my 27th birthday. Let's put $20 on 27. Go. And I won. And that's like 35 to 1. So I won $700. And it was crazy. And so, and that like, and that was like, I couldn't lose that weekend. And so like, that's the thing. Like I had such a good experience my first time messing around in a casino that it's almost like with drugs, like you're always chasing that first high. I think I was up like $5,000 by the end of the weekend.
Wow.
Just because I just kept randomly winning at crap.
And you were in Niagara Falls.
Yeah. And so like I like took
go
it.
there to gamble. Say
Yeah.
no.
But no, I mean like, I've hit Motor City, I've hit MGM, I've hit Greektown. Because I've, friends do stuff there. We've done some of our networking events and those kind of thing in those places. Yeah, I mean, but like especially like I haven't been inside one in over a year. Obviously with everything going on. But I'm curious. I have been seeing a lot of friends that are diving into the whole gambling via apps now. Now that online gaming is a thing, and I'm also watching a lot of friends get screwed or just not paying attention and not realizing that you get $200 free, but that's only if you're putting in like $1,500,
Really?
or only if you do it. So I mean, they're just not paying attention to this. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's a reason why the house always wins. That's just a thing. I mean, casinos. I remember years ago we were talking about how each of the casinos averaged over $1 million. I think was it a week? I can't remember if it was a week or a month in profit.
Okay.
I mean, either way, even if that's only a month, even if it was every month, that's still a lot.
Right. And
I mean,
profit.
like there's a reason why casinos exist. They're not there because they give away money. They're there. They're there and they grow and they expand because they rake in a lot of cash.
So do you think it's rigged?
No, I mean they're not rigged. It's statistics and probability. I mean, if you understand odds, I mean, you understand, it's kind of like the lottery. The lottery isn't rigged. But the running joke is the lottery is a tax on people that are bad at math. Because the odds are so significantly against you winning the lottery that, yeah, if you win, great, there's a huge payout. But what are the odds of that happening? 300 and some odd million to 1. It's like roulette. There are, if you bet black versus red, you got a 50-50 chance of being right. That's a coin toss. You bet the canyons where it's like it's 1 through 12, 13 to 24, 25 to 36. You've got a 33% chance of winning. You start talking about, the coin. So, I mean, it's understanding where where the statistics and probability lie. It's not that they're rigged. It's that they're designed to take your money. That's their function and that's their purpose. I mean, like, there's no such thing as a truly random anything. Like slot machines. People, and that's the thing, because the people that win at whether it's poker or whatever, okay, you find out it's because they know how to count cards. They know how to, do something that changes the odds in their favor. And so, yeah, I mean, casinos are there to basically, the games they're called games of chance for a reason.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. You broke it down, Dave.
Yeah.
You broke it down about the casinos. I think I'll stay away from them.
I mean, like I said, they're fun, and as long as you walk into them with the mindset of,
I'm bringing X amount of dollars
right,
to lose.
and I might as well, and I'm comfortable. I'm just as comfortable walking in here with it as I would have been standing out here on the sidewalk and lighting it on fire.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be gone either way.
Right.
So you just have to be ready that that's going to be a thing.
And if you win, that's something great.
Right. And that's the other thing is, again, don't keep chasing it. And that's the thing. There are variables when it comes to, especially with cards, because as cards move through the deck and because they run with 6 shoes on a lot of things and yada yada yada. I mean, there are things that change those statistics and probability figures. And so they say, hey, when you start noticing that you're getting, there are certain times where you should always bet heavy, where, if things are just kind of going normally, you keep your bets light. When you notice things are those stats are starting to line up in your favor, bet heavier. And then if you win when you're betting heavier, that's when you walk away. Don't start I'm up $2,000, so now I have another $2,000 to lose. Nah, man, you're up $2,000. Walk away.
Right.
Go do something else with that money. Why would you want to give it back to them?
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's the trap that a lot of people fall into, is even when they do get up, they stay until they're back down because it's that emotional high, and they want to keep chasing it, and they want to try to stay, and it's not. It's not a plateau. It's a roller coaster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I totally agree about that. Do you keep up with any hip hop or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, my hip hop era is 82 to about 94.
Okay.
And then I really stopped listening because it turned into garbage.
Okay, so who's your favorite hip hop artist?
Oh,
Out of 94, out of the early 90s, from 90 to 90.
God, early 90s. See, and this is why I always say that, because that entire 10 to 12 years just kind of blurs. I mean, dude, EPMD, KRS-One, Public Enemy. I mean, obviously you've got the Biggies, the Tupacs, and those guys. You've got NWA. And that's the thing. To me, I always look for, and this is why I say it kind of turned into garbage, because, dude, it used to be and it's coming back to some degree, but there used to be a message, and there used to be a meaning, and and I think it was Chris Rock that has the whole shtick about I can defend fight the power, I can defend you must learn, I can't defend move, bitch, get out the way. I can't. Like
Okay.
I can't defend that as art.
All right.
But no, I mean I did like I remember, and especially as me, super Caucasian teenager in friggin' New Hampshire,
Okay.
listening to NWA, listening to Public Enemy, and listening to, and getting that perspective that I didn't have in my day to day life, and then of course MTV, and seeing, kind of the clips from the videos and that kind of stuff. I mean that was eye opening. Like Ice-T, it's still to this day it still cracks me up that the man who performed the song "Cop Killer" has been playing a cop on Law and Order SVU for the past 15 years. That just makes me laugh.
That's Ice-T.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I say.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like God, I still own the soundtrack from the movie Colors. That was one of my all-time faves. That's something I'll find on, these internet-controlled jukeboxes and play every now and then. And people are like, what the hell is this? I'm like, just shut up and listen. No, but, and then after that, after that, I kind of, like I said, because hip-hop started getting weird and became much more about the posturing and the puffery and the, hey, look what I got, look at all that kind of stuff.
It wasn't about hip hop.
Right. So I went, and that's when I started paying more attention to, like, I went more dancey and poppy and that kind of stuff, and just looking for club tunes. And,
Okay.
I mean, plus, and the 90, that's I'm in my early to mid 20s, and so that's I'm hitting bars and that kind of stuff, and so that's
Yeah. So have you worked with anybody from MTV or
I mean, we've had people through the studios, yeah.
Really?
I mean, one of the guys that has done a show with us forever, Tony Green, love him. You might know him as T Money Green.
Okay.
He did a lot with Death Row Records. I mean, he worked with, he's done, he still does jam sessions with the guys from P-Funk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got a deep catalog of stuff that he's done. And it's fun. Like, he's one of the people that I love sitting down and talking music history with, because dude, it's just that's just a great time to just sit and let him talk and just absorb.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Now, have you ever kept up with, like, the conspiracy theory of Tupac and Biggie?
I didn't really. I don't know what's developed lately. I mean, I know there's always been a conspiracy theory about it and all that kind of stuff. And I guess there's a new. Is it Netflix that's dropping?
I believe so.
The show.
Yeah.
Because I'm so addicted to Netflix documentaries. It's not even funny. There's just so many good ones. And I'm not. Like, I usually take I almost have zero tolerance for conspiracy theories anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, the ones that are, like, completely dumb, like the Earth is flat people, I have no time for them.
Yeah.
All that QAnon stuff, no, I got no time for you. But like I said, but some of them, like, the whole Tupac and Biggie thing, there's some meat there. Like, there's. It's possible that they might have been queued up to get gunned down. It's possible that
You said queued up.
Yeah, it's possible that Pac might have faked his own death to just disappear. It's and it's funny. I have an 11-year-old kid, and he's still trying to convince me that Juice WRLD is still alive, and because he just faked his own death to get away from everything. I'm like. He's like a 22-year-old kid that nobody knew. Like, no, he wasn't Tupac.
Right.
Get out of here. That's what he's trying to do is be the no. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting, and then you hear some of the shit, like some of the stuff that Suge pulled with Death Row, or not Death Row, Death Row Records, and some of the animosity there, and that's the other thing, it's almost like hip hop for a long time has been like sports, and I think it's why sports lost some of its luster to me. Like, the whole East Coast West Coast thing, like, there was some real animosity there.
I remember it being animosity.
But now, like, everybody's friends. And okay, fine, but it's like when I see if I see players from opposing teams, like, hugging before the game and that kind of shit, I'm like, man, when I was a kid, you wanted to beat the hell out of your opponent. I don't
Right.
care. Like, you never saw like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson hugging before a game. You never saw, that shit didn't happen.
You said that shit didn't happen.
No, that shit didn't happen. But like now you've got, whoever pick a player, coming out and hugging, the opposing center before the game, or trading jerseys with each other, and that, dude, how are you supposed to work up venom to fight somebody if they're your friends 10 minutes before tip off? Like that's just dumb. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, and to me, I think some of that watered down hip hop too. I think, and some of it, after Tupac and Biggie went down, some people realized that shit might need to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And maybe we shouldn't be so hot-headed, which, fine, great. But, I think it took something away from it.
I think so too, because it's like now the rappers are kind of watered down a little bit.
I mean, let's be real.
I'm not gonna say it, but
no, but let's be real.
The content isn't the same.
Who had the best diss track? Dude, Eminem dissed MGK so hard he changed genres.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Machine Gun Kelly isn't even a rapper anymore. He's out here, like, I don't know if you've seen him. He looks like Machine Gun Karen. He's doing he's like a rock pop thing now. And granted, he's also banging Megan Fox, which, I mean, good for him. She's super hot. Mm-hmm. But like, Eminem nailed him so hard to the wall that he left rap entirely.
Right.
And you don't see a lot of that these days. And I think that's the part of it, is you get kids like that try to go after the old guns, because they think that's how they build a name for themselves, and they don't understand who they're messing with when they like.
It worked for 50 Cent.
I mean, did it?
I mean, it did, because he.
Where is he these days?
I mean, he has power. He's doing a lot, Power Ghost Book has a few artists. He probably doing a lot of other stuff we don't know about. What else? He doing something else on BET. It comes on late night. But anywho, I
remember when he was like doing stuff with Effin, because the vodka
Effin
company.
Vodka.
Yeah, that was.
Did he come here?
There was a couple of events here, and that was the running joke, was he was doing those because he was effing broke. That was.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I mean, it's like I said. I mean, you just. It's funny to me that's how, like, you see like these people that nobody has ever heard of before. I want to challenge so and so to a versus battle. Kid, nobody knows you.
Yeah, the versus thing is hot now.
Nobody cares about you. We'll just sit back and watch them verse an empty chair. Like, that'll be fine. Like, I just listen to that person's set and we'll be good. You don't need to be there. Mm-hmm. You do not deserve to be in the same room with them. And like I said, and I think that's part of it, is like everybody's looking for that quick social media pop. And trying to get like cred and get followers and get make a name for themselves that way, instead of just putting out good music. Like that, like how, like maybe if your shit sucked less, more people would like you.
But as far as with the social media now, that's their way of putting it out there. It
is, but I mean, it also backfires, because you're seeing more and more. God, I think it was there was some study that just came out that a friend of mine had linked to, and I think it was something like 60% of people that identified as liberal and like 80-something% of people that identified as conservative believe that social media does more harm than good, and that the vast majority of what you see on there is fake. And I mean, and I know that. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, once you realize, I mean, there's a reason why I call it fake book. Like, nobody's posting their trials and tribulations on Facebook. They're posting their selfie moments. They're posting their their posture moments. Like, there are, and I was just having this conversation over the weekend. There are 4 couples that, based on, and I'm friends with each of them on Facebook.
Okay.
You'd have thought they were just the happiest couples in the entire free world and life was good. Come to find out, all 4 of them are going through divorces or are about to be. Because nobody puts that shit out there. Everybody wants to hide their struggle, which is dumb. I mean, it just makes no sense. Yeah.
Well, people want to hide their struggles because, maybe some people, because, what good is it putting it out there? It just gives other people something to talk about. So they rather do that in private.
True, but maybe it also gives someone out there the opportunity to reach out and help. Because that's, and I think that's the issue is, the concept of a friend on Facebook has kind of gotten lost. In fact, I went through. I do my little stupid trick that I use is those daily birthday reminders that Facebook sends you. Mm-hmm. That's how I figure out who to get rid of. That's who I unfriend. Not all of them, but like if like a birthday reminder pops and I have no idea who the hell they are, bye. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know why I added you. I don't remember why I added you. I don't know. Nope, bye.
You said no, bye.
Because and that's the thing because it's. Facebook is supposed to be about, keeping in touch with friends and family and that kind of stuff. It's not, dude, none of you know 5,000 people. None of you. None of you have 5,000 friends.
They get the followers? Oh, just okay.
They just add everybody.
Yeah. That's dangerous. I get a little paranoid when I get those type of friend requests that I don't have any mutual friends. I don't share any mutual friends.
Yeah,
with.
that's creepy. Those are bots. Yeah, no, thank you.
That's what I said. I said, no, thank you. Delete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
no.
For a person to have 5,000 friends, I think their account has to be hacked. Like,
no,
have to go on.
So, in fact, I'm on my second Facebook profile now because my original Facebook profile, I used to play a lot of the stupid, like, games on Facebook, like Mafia Wars and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of things that you have to be friends with people in order to do.
Okay.
And I hit 5,000. And it only took me, like, 4 months.
Okay.
And it was crazy. But then I did. I realized that I wasn't seeing
the people you knew.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing the stuff from like my friends. So I bailed on that, created a new Facebook profile, migrated my actual friends and family over to that, and then off I went. And I'm trying to be more careful about this one. And there are, we used to be heavily involved with a local professional wrestling circuit. But that ended 3 years ago, and I'm still cleaning out people from that era because I don't see them anymore. I don't talk to them anymore. Why do I need to know about their lives? Why do they need to know about mine? Why?
Right.
And that's the thing I do. I think people are because people are so concerned about a number, like who's got the most friends, who's got the most followers, who's got the most this, who's got the most that. Dude, it doesn't matter. Like, and if a meme that a friend of mine posted last night is perfect. Like, it doesn't matter. The number of friends doesn't matter. It's the number of friends that matter.
Right.
Like that's it's not your number of friends that matter. What matters is having a few friends that matter or something like that.
The amount of people you know, or I don't
know.
But I get what you're
trying to
say.
And it's funny because like I have this conversation. I've had this so my daughter's 13, and I've had this conversation with her before, where she was all upset about something one day. She's like, Dad, I don't really have a lot of friends like you. And I was like, so? And she's like, well, like you do. I'm like, no, I don't. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you do these events with like, hundreds and thousands of people. And I'm like, those aren't friends. Like when you hear me talk about me being out doing something, who do you hear me talk about? And she was like, oh, well, like there's Mr. Bob and there's like 3. And I'm like, exactly. Those are my friends. Like everybody else is an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you find like one really good friend, you count yourself lucky. Mm-hmm. Like you can have a bajillion acquaintances, but they ain't gonna care about you. You ain't gonna care about them, and that's fine. And again, that's fine because everybody has a place in the hierarchy of your life. And that's the thing. And the other part of it is, I have a friend of mine that's such a cute little ball of fluff. She's all like 26 years old, and she was bitching one night. She's like, Dave, she's like, I can't, like all the friends that like I used to go to the bar with and everything else. They're like, they're just kind of like fading away and drifting away. And yet I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, you're married now. Like, you guys bought a house. Like, you're trying to focus on that. You know, you're growing up. You're not supposed to have all the same friends that you had from high school. You're not
Yes.
supposed to have, like, that's the thing. Like, they say, like, like every 10 years, every body or every cell in your body is renewed over the course of 10 years. And it's kind
Right.
of the same way with your friend circle. If you are still hanging out with the entire same group of people that you hung out with 10 years ago, odds are good you're doing something wrong. And yeah, there are exceptions. Like, there are the 4 or 5 guys that I've known for, 20 years. Great. Do we hang out every day, though? No. There are newer people that have stepped into that role. When those 4 or 5 of us all get together, yeah, it's a blast and it's great and it's a great time, but they're not my day-to-day close connections.
And you can reminisce with those 5, people that you may have
Right.
grown up with. But I completely understand because, if you're not growing, if you're hanging
Exactly.
out with the same people that you were hanging out with you're in when you were in high school.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be interested in the same things you were. You shouldn't be doing the same thing. You should grow up at some point, and that doesn't mean and grow up not in a negative way. Like I've always said, get older, but don't get old. Dude, I still love doing dumb shit, like we all do. That's just part of the fun.
Right.
But be doing that with different people. Have new and different adventures with new and different folks.
Mm-hmm. I totally
And look,
agree.
it's snowing again. Great.
I know. Great. Are we supposed to get another blizzard?
No, I think I saw like maybe another couple inches.
Yeah.
But whatever. Gives me an excuse to fire up my snowblower again. Yay.
Well, we have Kier One, Trigan Kier Studios coming,
Okay.
and he makes movies. He made Love of Fate. That was a series. So, hello. Sit right here. I should. You're late.
I know I'm late. I didn't know. I was like, I ain't heard nothing back.
How was your drive?
It wasn't bad for me. I have a truck, but there was a lot of people driving really slow.
Okay.
I guess I can put it on the back of the room chair. This way here. More people coming?
Nope.
Just me?
Yes, just you.
Oh man, I'm scared.
Welcome to the T-Shay Show, Mr. Trigan.
T-Shay Show.
Yes,
I apologize for being late.
that's okay. So, tell my viewers, what is it that the Trigan Kier Studio does? What is it that you do? What is your area of expertise?
Well, we do everything. We do T-shirts, keychains,
Okay.
everything. But professional headshots, a lot of entertainment figures come through. You know what I mean? Videos, movies, music videos. We just had Darren Brown come through with the artist Chloe and just did a nice music video in there. So it's a full service studio.
Okay. What movies have you done?
Well, for me, mine are Love of Fate 1 and 2. I worked on Stomp the Yard. I worked on Takers. Had a little job with Transformers when they was here.
Okay.
So I've been around a little bit.
All right. What motivated you to start getting into that movie production industry?
Well, I was already there as a photographer.
Okay.
I've been a photographer for 30 years. So I've been doing actors, actresses, headshots, models, magazines. I was always entertainment anyway, so it was like a natural progression.
Okay. What magazines have you done? What company?
Man, I used to get Girls for King, Black Men, Smooth. That's probably before your time.
Yeah, that is. I'm like, what is okay? But that's fine.
Your little babies out there. I remember all that stuff. But it's like in the 90s.
Okay.
Because you was born like, 95, 96? Something like that. So, yeah.
Something like that.
You probably don't remember all that.
Mm-hmm.
The golden era of the, I guess, internet model.
Oh, okay. So, have you worked with any well-known rappers or anything like that here, or not even here?
Well-known rappers. We caught a lot of people like Bow Wow when he was young. What's the guy off Power? I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about.
Which one?
I can't. His name
Tariq?
is not Tariq. He's the singer. The 150 Cent got into it with.
Oh yeah, I know who you talking about.
Ratimi.
Yes.
Ratimi. Or
Yes.
something. Yeah, we shot.
He's
shot
always
him.
into some trouble.
Always into some trouble. I mean, there's a lot of people. You know, like I said, I've done Maxwell. You know, you saw the Idris Elba shoot. You know, Robin Thicke.
Okay.
B.O.B. It's been a lot. It's been quite.
So you've been pretty busy over the years.
Yeah. I just stay hidden, just do my thing and leave. You know, I don't even have a lot of stuff posted on my social handles.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, you know, if you know me, you know
what you do, and if
Right,
you
right.
don't, you pretty much low key.
it kind of feels corny because I'm older. That you know it's like people now post everything.
They
You
do.
post just everything.
We were just having that
Everything.
conversation.
It's just like it's never been even like you know the earlier days of you know really social media. It just was never something I did. It was like ooh I did this today.
Okay.
You know, and it kind of feels corny, like I say, to do that all the time. You know, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
But I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say that's corny. I would say that's promotion. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So when you're doing stuff like that, you want to promote it. I mean, you know, so you could promote it yourself.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it's you know, for me, I get it. You know, as far as you know, when you want to get something, you know, out there, you pound the internet, you know, streets.
You said the internet streets.
The internet streets with your message. You know, it's just like I said, that's not how. You know, it's kind of like I said I came from the if you know, you know.
Okay, you
You
come
know
from
what I'm saying?
that.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it's the reason why somebody called me and said, hey, we need you to shoot Idris Elba. It wasn't nothing it wasn't no flyers or no business cards or none of that. It was because I'm in a certain circle. You know, it's a whole different level of promotion of who you are when you don't have to do that. You know, not having a business card necessarily or anything like that. So that's where I come from.
Okay.
So to start, you know, every time I do something, here's somebody getting their makeup done. Here's somebody. It just, I don't know, it just felt kind of uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
I need to hire somebody to do it for me, right?
Yeah, you should. I mean, you know, but if you don't need it, you don't need it. But it could get you out there more, you know, for like the younger generation to really know
right.
what's going on with you, you know.
Right.
But you know, I was following you on social media, and I was impressed about some of the pictures and all of that you took. I thought, and then I watched Love of Fate. I think that the audio was good on that. I thought the filming was, you know, the camera angles. I thought that was pretty dope.
I had to fix my audio. I had some slight audio issues. It wasn't like me. It was like, say like we're in this room now and you hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I had that. And some, you know, because some people couldn't turn their heater off or air conditioner off. So it was more like a...
That's the best part about these mics. They don't hear it.
right. So, you know, that was my first rodeo with doing it because, you know, I did most of the sound and filming and catering and stuff. You know, I did pretty much everything.
Wow.
So if you look at the picture, you see like most of the time it's just me on set. It's just me. I set all the lights up and the location.
So how long does something like that take for one person to do?
It doesn't take me long because I know what I want to do. I have the equipment for it. So if I need, you know, 5-point light set up or a 3-point or whatever, I just come in and
Set it
I
up.
already have it in my head what I want. So all they have to really do is come in and know their lines. And, you know, a scene for us is probably maybe 4 to 6 hours
Okay.
on the top end.
How long does it take to shoot a movie?
Depends on a lot of things. I mean, you know, a movie can take 2 weeks. It could take 2 years. You know, it could be, you know, depending on, you know, budgeting, you know, people's availability and things like that. So
Okay.
it doesn't take me that long if you, you know, put it all together. I do so much other stuff. I kind of shot these two, I can't say in my spare time,
Okay.
but kind of.
What, The Love of Fate?
Like
Okay.
shooting both of them.
Yeah.
The first one took a little longer. Like I said, it was my first time, you know, doing stuff like doing a project by myself, you know, so it took a little longer, but part 2 was more like, you know,
Okay.
didn't take that long.
Yeah. Did you go to school for photography? Did you go to school for directing films or anything like
I went
that?
to school for advertising and marketing.
Really?
and I don't market.
So maybe you got a secret sauce to marketing to where you don't have to
hey man, I don't
promote
know.
your stuff on social media.
I try. You see, sometime I say, hey, you know, such and such in the studio, or
Okay.
you know, I try. You know,
Okay.
it's just, and other photographers that's from my era, a lot of them feel the same way. That's why you don't know a lot of people. You know, it's a lot of new guys that's really, you know, they out here, they hot. You know, they hot. You know, Steven used to be in the same studio. You know, we got Q11. Tazon, it's some young people out here, you know, that's really, you know, doing some good work.
Okay. So are you easily accessible to like newcomers, you know, maybe new people that's trying to kick off a series, or even, you know, new models that maybe want to get some photography done? Are you open to that, or you just like you don't have the time?
Yeah, if somebody hits me up like, hey, you know, I'm such and such and I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, and you know, I'll definitely, you know, try to make some time. You know,
Okay.
it's not I'm not, you know, up here.
Okay.
I just don't promote like I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm still just, you know, right down the street, you know what I mean? So, it's, you know.
Well, that's what's up, Trigan. How can our viewers get in contact with you? Like through social media? Your business?
I have a website, TreganKierStudios.com.
Okay.
Y'all probably won't know how to spell that. TreganKier Studios.com.
Okay.
And it's the same for Facebook, Tragan Kier Studios. Same for Instagram, except it's Tragan Kier Studios 1. Somebody took my Tragan Kier studio.
Ooh. Did you get an LLC?
Isn't that the worst? When people snitch?
I mean, social media is just, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
Yeah, that's the Instagram. I also have Rockstar Visual and Indie Sizzle. Indie Sizzle is where we promote other people's projects.
Okay.
If you go to Instagram,
What
Indie
type of
Sizzles,
projects?
Just whatever.
Whatever
you know,
you do.
mostly film,
Okay.
but whatever. You know, like our sponsors and stuff like that, and you know, people that have boutiques and things like that. Just whoever's in the circle.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show. You know, I wish we could have spent more time with you today,
See?
but it's okay.
She's like, can you be here by 5:30? I was like, let's see. I have to take a shower. I have to throw on some of these old clothes, you know. So yeah, that was cool. We got to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, this is such a long show. I feel like you just took all the information out of me.
Good.